Welcome to ABA 10 Talk, a rapid-fire conversation with members of American Business Associates. I'm Dave Goldberg, and my guest today is Noal Goldfarb from National Financial Network. What is National Financial Network, Noal?
Well, National Financial Network is a financial planning firm. We're been around for a long time, since the mid-1950s. Where
you haven't been there since.
I haven't been, but the firm has been. But we are independently owned, but we have a relationship with the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, and we help our clients manage through good and bad times.
How long have you been with the company?
I've been with them for about 14 years. Time goes by fast.
It does. When you're having fun.
Definitely.
What do you enjoy most about your career? What would you say gets you up in the morning?
Well, it's interesting because when I was in my previous career as an institutional asset manager, I didn't get to meet too many people. I just managed money. Now what I do is I get to meet people and learn what they do for a living. I never knew what people did for a living. Like when I visited you here, I was like, "Oh, look at this! He's got this beautiful studio."
Right.
And I love to.
We happen to know each other. We've known each other a long time, probably 15, 17, 18 years, something like that. But yeah, this is your first time here. You know what I do, but you never.
Yeah, never. And that's, I meet people from all walks of life now. I met a guy recently that I work with who designs roller coasters for a living.
No way.
Yes, and I was, he went to my old college up in Buffalo, and he was an engineering student, and he actually designs roller coasters and has to test them out too, by the way.
Well, yeah. Would you go with him? That's on the test ride. Speaking about Buffalo, you're a pretty loyal fan, or a very loyal fan of the only true New York football team.
Well, depending
upon how you look at it.
I always say that, and actually, I've been a fan through the bad times. When I was up in school there back in the mid '80s, they weren't so good. Then they got good, but I really became a fan because when I was there, the whole town, the whole city gets involved, and you go to the stadium and you tailgate, and it's just a really good time. And now what we do is we travel around and see them. So as I like to say, and I hope I don't offend anybody who likes the Jets or the Giants, but last year I traveled all the way to Seattle to watch the Bills play because I'd rather fly to Seattle than actually go to the Meadowlands.
I don't blame you. There's no easy way to get to the Meadowlands.
Getting home is worse.
Let's learn more about you because you're an interesting guy, and as much as I would like the audience to know about what you do professionally, there's the personal side of you which is really interesting. You wouldn't know it by looking at his feet right now. You take a shot of the shoes, but you're a runner, like a legit runner. Marathons.
Well, it goes way back to 1992. When I was a couple of years out of college, just looking for a way to not gain weight, right? And I was at a race with some friends, not looking to run. We were actually down in Atlantic City, and they were down there to run a race, and I was just there to something to do on the weekend. And they said, "Well, why don't you run this race?" I said, "Oh, I don't even own running shoes." So I actually signed up for the 5K. I ran the Atlantic City 5K in my basketball sneakers.
The Converse.
It was probably like a Reebok high tops.
Right.
And then after doing that 5K, 3.1 miles for those who don't know metrics,
Me.
I was like, "Ooh, I better get in shape." And I was like 24 years old at the time. So I then started to run on a regular basis, and I lived in Manhattan, so I was run around Central Park. I know Central Park like the back of my hand, and started to enjoy it and get addicted to it. And then I've run I think I've run 9 marathons so far, and countless half marathons. And
what was the most memorable marathon you ran?
Well, it's probably my most recent was the one in Berlin, because that was back in September of 2023, where now that we're empty nesters, so to speak, with our daughter in college, we were able to just get up and travel to Europe for a week. And
how'd you do there?
It was slow. It was slow. It was a hot day. It was September. It should be about the same temperature as here, roughly, maybe a little cooler. And that day, it was by the time I was halfway through, it was like 70 degrees.
Oh yeah, that's
a bit warm. But I finished, so I'm happy. Not my best, but I finished.
Why don't you tell the audience about a very cool experience that you did? I remember seeing it on Facebook about a run you did and you track yourself with GPS, right? And
yes.
drew it. You tell.
Yeah. So, well, we live in Port Washington, and there's not many straight roads. So I found in one little area north of where I live where I could actually run and create a menorah. So on Hanukkah, what I do is I go and I create a menorah with the Strava app by running. It takes me about 5-ish miles, but and I actually run a little faster at the tip of each candle, so because if you know Strava or
changes the
Garmin,
color.
it changes the color. The faster you go, it gets red, so you can see the little flame at the top of the each candle.
See, not all people in the financial world are not creative. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy who figured it out.
I even had one of my friends who's not Jewish run it with me once. So
there you go. Did he make a Christmas tree?
we have to find a place to do that.
Got to try to do that.
That's probably easier in Port Washington.
Making the lights might be a little tricky part. How many states have you been to, in general? This is sort of not related to football necessarily, but travel and...
A lot. I mean, I know towards the end of when COVID was kind of cooling down, my wife and my daughter and I, we drove across all the way to Wyoming. I spent some time in Pennsylvania and Illinois and South Dakota.
Is that Route 66?
No, we didn't do Route 66. We did Route 66 actually starts in Chicago and goes all the way west. But we drove Route 80 or 90, whatever it was. Just the goal was to get to Mount Rushmore by the 4th of July, which we did, which was nice. And then we went a little further into Wyoming to Devil's Tower, which we hiked around, not up. You could hike up it, rock climb up it, which I've seen people do, but
scale it.
That wasn't for us.
Yeah. I want to throw some rapid fire, top of mind, first thing that comes to mind. Favorite, it could be one word answers. Favorite running shoes, brand?
Nike.
Okay. Cooking, gas or electric?
Gas.
Driving, gas or electric?
Gas.
Gas. Baseball, Mets or Yankees?
Yankees.
I knew the answer to that one. Rangers or Islanders?
Rangers.
Okay. I had Jets or Giants, but we're going to pass that one. Favorite food?
Pizza.
Okay. A band you'd go the distance to see live?
Oh, Metallica. I've done it.
Wow. Oh.
I went all the way to San Francisco to see them when they played with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra.
Wow.
Way back. Yeah. And that was fun. And no one else, should have asked you, but I had an extra ticket and Cheryl couldn't go, and I sold it I went by myself and I sold it to someone there.
And you had to sit next to that person.
I did, and I gave him a face value too. I was very nice.
Good guy. Fly, drive, bus, or train?
I like the train.
Yeah.
I do like trains.
Now that I have a son in GW and in college, it's nice to take the Amtrak and kind of kick back.
Nice
it's
not having to go
long.
through no security.
Right.
It's still pretty quick.
Yeah, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, yeah. Finally, since we live on an island, would you rather chill on a beach or a park?
Oh, beach.
Okay. How do people find out about you, Till?
You can find me my website, which is noalgoldfarb.com, or you can always call me at 917-449-4653, or even my email, which is Noal_Goldfarb at natfin.net.
Great. Noal, thank you for being with us. If you've enjoyed this conversation with Noal and you'd like to learn more about other ABA members or watch other 10 Talks, be sure to visit our website at abanetworking.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.